Good morning, YouTube friends. We finally got a little bit of rain yesterday, and I thought I would go through and do a quick garden harvest this morning because it looks like we might get more, and I have okra that we need to get. But before we go in the garden, let's check our volunteer here because we have some more huge zucchinis. Those are just the two you can see. There's actually two more little ones in front of that one. So there's 4 right there, and then there's some over here on the other side, plus this one here, the volunteer from the stall that's being removed has now put out. We have some coming in right there. So this too is a zucchini plant that is getting huge. But let's go ahead and go inside. The duck eggs are still here. She's still sitting and covering them up. This one's going to be, matter of fact, let's go ahead and harvest that one because the flower has fallen off and he's not getting any bigger. Yep. So I have a soft spot here. A worm got in the end of him. Maybe we can salvage some of him. All right. Okay, so we're gonna start with the okra, and we will go through. I do have okra to harvest. I'm working on making some pickled okra. So I couldn't find any pickling vinegar at the store yesterday, so I have to look a little further. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna take, because this is kind of a tedious process with bending over and holding the camera makes it a little difficult. I'm gonna go through I'll just go through each plant, and when I find one that is ready, all right, hold on a second. That is not a bird. Maybe it was a bird. It sounded like an injured animal. And my neighbor has a dog that will eat things. This fell down in the rainstorm a few nights ago, or windstorm, so I gotta get that cleaned out, but I guess it was nothing. Yeah. Sounds like the guinea pig. But it's not the guinea pig because she's inside. I don't know. Maybe it's a bird. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to go through. I'm going to snip off the okras that are ready. Oh, look who showed up. Where were you when I came out here, huh? And I'm just going to go through each one of these plants. I do have okra to harvest the whole way down the row. So I will finish doing that and then I'll be right back. Now, okra is really one of these plants that once it starts producing, you're going to have to come out and check it every day. And I haven't been out here in the last few days. On Saturday, we had our school graduation, so I was not out here at all. And just to show you really quickly, it doesn't take it very long to go from flower to this, to a nice, this one's curled over, but that's a nice size okra ready to harvest, to this size. It'll go overnight and then it'll get to this. This one is going to be too woody to really eat. This is going to be a seed producer. Now I am going to go ahead and take it off because I'm not going to save seeds this year from these plants. But I just wanted to give you the difference in sizes. Like this is as long as my hand. Okra, all of these ridges have this, like, they get what is called woody. So it's like you're chewing on it, literally like you're chewing on a stick when you bite into it. And the seeds are good and the flavor's still good, but the outside is just unpleasant and you don't want to eat it. So it's really important when your okra starts producing, like, to come check it, because it can go from this to that in just a day or two. It really grows quickly. So something to bear in mind if you're growing okra. And it is a plant that will continue to give fruit all summer. And the younger the plant, the more tender the fruit if you pick it and harvest on time. All right, so I have finished this whole row, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got all the ready okra off here from this row. Now, by no means are these plants finished growing. To be honest with you, I will be so happy when they are as tall as the corn, because squatting down, it's because you have to get under the leaves to see the okra that's growing. Yeah, it's so much fun when you're a tick out of shape. And I'm walking through spider webs. That's another thing. We have spiders that are hopefully helping with all of these pests in here. I'm gonna get my coffee. Okay, so to show you the garden cat. What are you doing, lazy fat cat? She always comes in here when I'm in here doing a video. I don't know why, but she enjoys it. Although she's not rubbing up on the plants so much because they are damp. We did get not a good bit of rain. We need a lot more rain, but we did get a good little sprinkle, which every little bit helps. But here is my basket. This is just from this morning. You can see the zucchini down there. So I have several jars full more of okra. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so the corn is just getting, it's doing well. Some ears are bigger than others. Some are still growing. We are still working on, you know, our soil. Obviously, you can tell from the wood chips and everything. We're putting grass clippings in here. We have compost boxes going. We have to build all of this back up. We had horses. We had horses out here for, let's see. I adopted Addie out November of 2018 to an autistic riding program because she's just so good with kids. So we had horses out here consistently from 2007 until 2018. And horses eat anything green, and anything green keeps your soil healthy. Therefore, it exposed a lot of soil and when rain hits exposed soil, it blasts it apart, turns it into sand, and there you go. So this was sand. And when I say sand, I mean like sand. Last year we didn't do any kind of raised rows because you could not get it to stand up in rows. So we just planted it in the ground, and then we did the wood chips. And then we let the corn naturally compost down. After we harvested, we cut everything down and just let it break down. Every bit of everything that we put on the soil last year composted by this season and made for much better dirt to where we could do rows. So we are continuing that process. We put the finer wood chips under the corn, the fatter wood chips in the rows. It's supposed to help with weed control and to help hold moisture in, but we have grass that's just enjoying it as well. So now that they're bigger like this, we're not really too concerned about it, but we will end up letting this compost down again and amending the soil with more compost. The compost box up front is obviously doing the best. These guys back here aren't too bad, but we have a lot of space to add more organic material, and that's just an ongoing process. So yeah, we're building this soil up. So not too bad this year. Last year we had a first harvest of corn that was amazing, and then we had rain and rain and rain. And so this year we have had very little rain. Last year the plants were very thick in the leaves and the stalks were very thick, and the corn was very little. We salvaged what we could off of the other harvests. This year the plants are very thin, but the corn is looking really good. So I am not going to continue walking because look, I would walk straight into him. So I'm going to turn around. I don't want to mess up his web. He's been working hard on it. Alright, so I got the okra, which was my main objective. My tomatoes are out of control. I do have some squash to harvest. These plants down here are finally producing. I do have some tomatoes to get. Look at that guy. Oh, he's pretty. We definitely got to come through, and I have to get something. Steve suggested pipe cleaners, so I may go get some of those this evening when I'm done working. But look at that guy. That is so pretty. Now the stink bugs are all over my tomatoes. If anybody has any suggestions on what to do for stink bugs, we garden, I guess you could say, organically. We don't use pesticides. We try to use everything that's natural. But I don't spray neem oil when I have, oh, look at that. That's why he looks so pretty on that side and bad on that side. So we'll see what we can do with him if he's any good. Because we like to be able to come out here and pick straight off the vine and eat. You know, what's wrong with snacking in your own grocery store? But, so we try to do things, I guess you would say, organically. I remember, so we've always had a small garden. Steve has gardened way before me, and he had one. He would have really nice gardens. He grew up around gardening. I did not. I grew up around horses, so he definitely is the greener thumb between us. Look at these guys. Like, this one is beautiful. I'm picking him, and I'm gonna eat him. But we've always had gardens since we've moved out here, but it was a small garden up front. We just, we weren't trying to do it on such a large scale because, as I stated, the horses were always in the back. And, we had a neighbor that moved in next door, Ginger, yes, I'm calling you out, saw our garden, and she said, those are some of those organic people. And I was like, I was actually insulted. I'm not gonna lie. Dang it, I thought I could catch him. But I'm not any longer, because if you know anything about being organic, that just means that you don't use any pesticides, or you know, you get heirloom seeds and kind of grow the way God intended without any enhancers or anything. So I was insulted, I'm not gonna lie, when she called me organic. Hindsight, if these tomatoes don't stop rolling the wrong way, hindsight being 2020, I wouldn't have been insulted back then. But I always find that kind of a funny story. Now, these are supposed to be a redder color, I think, but I'm getting them now because I'm tired of the bugs getting them, and I'll just let them finish off on the counter. I do have some squash that I gotta get. Where did that other one, was he ready? Yeah. I'm gonna grab that one too. It looks like a bug's getting him. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take him too. Let's go to this other side and get these little tomatoes that are turning red. You can see I've got tomatoes. They're so heavy. They're touching the ground. I got to get all of these guys up. And I got to come in and really... Okay, now see, now this guy... Oh, because the limbs are breaking from the weight. That's why those branches are dying. It's not disease. It's seriously me needing to come out here and tie everything up because they are heavy, heavy, heavy with fruit. I have to do this today. So I will do another video tonight when I go through and do this, because they're just getting ridiculous. The same thing happened with this one down here. So this one is coming out, and I'll be replacing. I have some other plants to replace with. I think I'm going to leave these go a little longer, although these are supposed to be yellow. These are not supposed to be red. See? They're supposed to look like that. That is a right to, that's actually really pretty. So I'll go ahead and grab these off of here. Okay. It looks like we've got some brads that are ready to come off too. See how the green on the bottom has turned to an orangey red color, and he just popped right off of there. Got some more here. These are Brad's Atomic Grapes. All of these seeds that are the different types of variety came from Baker's Creek. I gotta tie this one up too, because dang, that one's not quite ready yet. This one is though. Oh, and it's splitting. See that? Let's get him off of there. That is from going from no rain to rain. This one, see, I have to get this guy tied up. Look at all of those tomatoes. That is insane. So I got to get these two up off of the ground because they are just so weighted over. That is definitely a priority for today. Did I have any more squash? I don't think so. Yes, I do. I came out with a little basket. I should have probably brought the bigger basket. Okay, I know I've got some cucumbers to grab too, so I'm going to go ahead and go through here. And then I'll show you what's going on with the peppers. Yeah, we'll get these guys off. The thing about, you're probably looking at these cucumbers and you're like, that's not ready, that's not ready. But the thing with it is, yes, these are probably weird shape. But by removing them, I'm giving the plant the opportunity to put its energy into growing as a plant and not producing fruit. Even though it's still producing fruit, which is good, I'll take the oddballs. I don't care. I mean, you buy a Misfit box, that's what you're getting. And you cannot beat eating a fresh cucumber straight out of your garden. The flavor is so different. It does not even compare to grocery store cucumbers. Tomatoes, I'm amazed. I missed that tomato over there. I'm gonna have to get him. I am amazed at the difference in the flavor from a tomato, from a cucumber. Our salad is so different than when you, even the lettuce, when you buy it from the grocery store, is just so much better. I lost my coffee cup. Now I gotta go find my coffee. That's not good. Well, that's my morning harvest from the garden. And remember, this is just starting. Like, our harvest season has just started. We are nowhere near the peak of the season. We haven't harvested any corn. We haven't, like, nothing. We've just started harvesting tomatoes. I'm not gonna lie. I have been out here every night. Steve and I go on a golf cart ride, and then we come back and I'm like, let's go through the garden and see what is on the tomato plant. So I'm lying. There's evidence of the corn. Steve had to pick a piece the other night. I found my coffee cup. Just to see how the kernels were pollinated. Last year we had an issue where you'd get great kernels on one side and none on the other. Because you have to, when you're pollinating your corn, those tassels at the top, you have to come through and shake them, and it has to land on every single individual silk. When those silks come out, they're a pretty white color. When they're pollinated, they turn brown. And then eventually, as the kernel is mature, they completely turn brown and look dead, and that's when your corn is ready for harvest. Can I cut through here? Okay. Now we've got some watermelon plants going here. We have 2 of them that are doing really well. Our potatoes, we're about ready to harvest them. As the plant dies, that's when you know your potatoes are ready. So they are on their way out. Some of them have already died. If you look back at some earlier videos, you'll notice they were big and thick and bushy. And that is not the case anymore. They are getting to the end of their production period, and we will be harvesting potatoes soon. This pepper plant we just noticed is not doing so hot. It was a great pepper plant last week, so I'm gonna have to research and see what's going on with him. so I don't want it to affect any others. There was one right here that died and we pulled it, and I'm thinking that maybe what's happening to him is the same thing that happened to that one, so we're going to research that a little bit. You can see the jalapenos are doing great. We're getting a good, this is our best pepper year ever, like at all. We come down here and we've got the habaneros. I mean, look at these guys. They look so good. The only thing that I don't like is down here, the bells are not as big as those other ones. However, I don't think, I want to say that these guys grow slower. And I did already come through and harvest beans the other day, but I'm going to have to come through here again because we've got some that are ready for sure. So yeah, I'll have to come back through tonight and harvest these because I am done harvesting. It is muggy out here. It's a nice morning. It is not hot, but it is muggy. So let's head back up this way. Getting ready to wrap up this video. The bees are doing well. The trap hive has taken. I do need to go through all of the hives again, which will be happening soon. Oh, look at those tomatoes are almost ready. These are tomatoes you make spaghetti sauce out of. See, now this is a pepper plant. That is a bell pepper. Look at that compared to those down there. But I planted him sooner than those down there. These are radishes that I'm letting go, the pods, I'm letting them go to seed so that I can harvest seed off of them. We've got another jalapeno coming in here. Those peppers are doing well, so I got to get in here and tend to the boxes. Our poblanos needs a bigger pot. We'll be transplanting him, and this bell will be transplanted. Matter of fact, because we are going to keep these raised beds through the winter, we're going to actually make miniature greenhouses to go over these peppers. I'm going to put these in to these boxes. You see that basil in there with those tomatoes? Look at that. See that? Watch this, because I'm going to do it. Because this is my absolute favorite snack. The only thing that would make this better is fresh mozzarella cheese. I guess you'll be fine. Give me that leaf. Man, you cannot beat that. That is so good. Look at this volunteer. And it's a zucchini. I've been waiting and waiting to see what it was going to be. And we have another zucchini. What in the world? We must have fed those pigs a lot of zucchinis because all the volunteers are zucchinis, which is fine. I just recently discovered making zoodles out of the zucchinis, and it's really good. So nothing really to harvest out of this box. It is wild and crazy at the moment, but that's okay because holy crap, look at that bug. Hold on a minute. What is that? I've never ever seen a bug like that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video because it is getting kind of lengthy. I'll have another update this evening when I go through and tie up the tomatoes. That is a beautiful harvest. I am so happy with that. Are you done in the garden too, T? Kitty, kitty. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Until next time.